Queen Victoria, a young woman of just 18, ascended the British throne in 1837. Her reign, spanning over 6 decades, would come to be known as the Victorian era. This period witnessed Britain's rise as a global superpower, fueled by industrial innovation and imperial expansion. Victorian Britain experienced a cultural renaissance, scientific breakthroughs, and social reforms. Queen Victoria's values of duty, morality, and family life profoundly influenced the era. Her reign saw the rise of a new middle class, eager to emulate the Queen's sense of propriety. This era was marked by a deep sense of social order and hierarchy. While it was a time of great progress, it was also an era of poverty and social unrest. Its legacy can be seen in our architecture, literature, and social customs. Victorian society was rigidly stratified, with clear divisions between the aristocracy, the middle class, and the working class. At the top stood the aristocracy, a small but powerful group. They enjoyed privilege and leisure, often residing in grand estates. The middle class grew rapidly, fueled by the Industrial Revolution. This group included factory owners, merchants, and professionals. At the bottom were the working class, toiling long hours for meagre wages. They faced harsh living conditions in overcrowded slums. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the late 18th century, reached its peak during the Victorian era, transforming Britain into the workshop of the world. This period witnessed unprecedented technological advancements, particularly in textile manufacturing, iron production, and steam power. The invention of the steam engine revolutionized transportation, powering the first steam locomotives and steamships. Railways, in particular, became a symbol of Victorian progress, connecting distant parts of the country and facilitating trade and commerce. The expansion of the railway network had a profound impact on society, enabling people to travel further and faster than ever before. The Industrial Revolution led to mass production, making goods more affordable and accessible to a wider population. However, it also resulted in the exploitation of factory workers, including women and children, who often laboured in dangerous and unhealthy conditions. The Victorian era was a time of remarkable scientific discovery and technological innovation. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection, published in 1859, revolutionized our understanding of the natural world. His work challenged long-held religious beliefs and sparked intense debate. Other notable scientific advancements included Michael Faraday's discovery of electromagnetic induction, which paved the way for the development of electric generators and motors, and James Clerk Maxwell's theory of electromagnetism, which unified electricity, magnetism, and light. In medicine, breakthroughs were made in anesthesia, antisepsis, and public health. The development of anesthesia allowed for painless surgery, while Joseph Lister's pioneering work in antisepsis drastically reduced the risk of infection. These advancements saved countless lives and transformed medical practice. Section 5. The Victorian Cultural Tapestry. The Victorian era witnessed a flourishing of literature, art, and architecture. Charles Dickens, the most celebrated novelist of the era, captured the social realities of Victorian England in his vivid portrayals of life in London. His novels, such as Oliver Twist and A Tale of Two Cities, exposed the plight of the poor and the injustices of Victorian society. The Bronte sisters, Emily, Charlotte, and Anne, made their mark on English literature with their powerful novels, including Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, and The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Their works explored themes of love, loss, social class, and the role of women in Victorian society. In art, the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, led by artists such as Dante Gabriel Rossetti, John Everett Millais, and William Holman Hunt, emerged as a major force. They rejected the academic art of the time and sought to return to the simplicity and realism of Italian art before Raphael. Section 6. Life in the Victorian Era. A stark contrast. Life in Victorian England was a study in contrasts. For the wealthy elite, life was one of opulent indulgence. They resided in grand mansions, attended lavish balls, and enjoyed a life of leisure and luxury. Their clothing was elaborate and expensive, reflecting their status and wealth. The emerging middle class aspired to emulate the lifestyle of the upper classes, placing great importance on respectability and social standing. They lived in comfortable homes, often with servants, and enjoyed a growing array of consumer goods. Education was highly valued, and families invested in their children's schooling. For the working class, however, life was a daily struggle for survival. They lived in overcrowded slums, often in single-room dwellings shared by multiple families. Sanitation was poor, and diseases such as cholera and typhoid were rampant. Child labour was commonplace, with children as young as 5 or 6 working long hours in factories and mines. Section 7. The Seeds of Change, Social Reform and Progress. Despite the rigid social hierarchy and harsh realities of life for many, the Victorian era was also a time of significant social reform and progress. The growing awareness of poverty, inequality, and injustice led to calls for change. Reformers campaigned for improved working conditions, universal education, and women's rights. The Factory Acts were passed to regulate child labour and improve working conditions in factories. The Education Act of 1870 made elementary education compulsory for all children, a significant step towards universal literacy. The women's suffrage movement gained momentum during this period, with women demanding the right to vote and greater social and economic equality. Although women would not gain the right to vote in Britain until the 20th century, the Victorian era laid the groundwork for the women's rights movement. Section 8. The Victorian Era's Enduring Legacy. The Victorian era, despite its complexities and contradictions, left an enduring legacy on modern society. Its architectural marvels, literary masterpieces, and scientific advancements continue to inspire and influence us today. The Victorian era's emphasis on education, hard work, and social responsibility continues to shape our values. The social reforms of the era, from child labour laws to public health initiatives, laid the foundation for a more just and equitable society. The Victorian era may be a distant memory, but its impact on our world is undeniable. From the clothes we wear to the technology we use, the echoes of the Victorian era are all around us. By studying this fascinating and complex period, we can gain a deeper understanding of our own time and the forces that have shaped the modern world. Section 9. Conclusion. A glimpse into a bygone era. The Victorian era, spanning the reign of Queen Victoria from 1837 to 1901, was a time of dramatic transformation and unparalleled progress. It was an era of industrial might, scientific breakthroughs, and social reforms. Yet, it was also a time of stark contrasts, with immense wealth existing alongside abject poverty. From the grandeur of the aristocracy to the struggles of the working class, The Victorian era offers a fascinating and complex tapestry of life in a bygone era. By exploring its triumphs and its tragedies, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that have shaped our own world. The Victorian era may be over, but its legacy continues to resonate today, reminding us of the enduring power of human ingenuity, resilience, and the ongoing pursuit of progress.